This is a recipe called eggs en cocotte with morels. And morels are mushrooms, they're wild mushrooms, and you can buy them sometimes dried in packets like this. And in fact, I sometimes think dried mushrooms are better because they have a more concentrated flavour. What they look like is not actually very glamorous, but they're dried, so they look quite unattractive. But what you do is you soak them in warm water, and then they look a little bit more interesting. The colour is better, and they plump up. But they do have a most incredible, intense mushroom flavour. And what you do with those is you put them in a food processor with some dark gilled mushrooms like this, 3 shallots, a quarter of a whole nutmeg grated, and some seasoning, and then you just whiz them up in the processor until they're chopped minutely small. Now you can do all that by hand if you want to with a very sharp knife, but it's much better, or quicker rather, if you do it in the processor. Then you transfer the whole lot to some butter in a saucepan, and you cook them for about 25 to 30 minutes. The time depends on how long it takes for all the juices out of the mushrooms to evaporate and the flavour become concentrated. So what you're left with is a mixture like this and no spare juice. And of course the flavour gets more and more intense. Then the next thing you do is you take a tablespoonful of crème fraîche, add it to the mushroom mixture, and then that just loosens it. If you're watching your fat, the fat content of your diet, you can use Greek yogurt instead of crème fraîche. But it is rather nice if it's nice and creamy. Now that just loosens the mixture. What I'm now going to do is split it into 4 and divide it between these, which are little ramekin dishes, sometimes called cocotte dishes, and they've been very well buttered. So we'll just put the first amount in like that, about a quarter. And then what you do is just make a little sort of dent in the middle, squeeze it round like that. Next, break in a fresh egg. In goes the egg, and that just sits on top of the mushroom mixture. And then we need some seasoning of pepper and salt. And then we're going to spoon a little bit more crème fraîche or Greek yogurt over the top of the egg like that. Just put a little tiny bit more. Then take a palette knife and just slide it all round. And what I forgot to tell you was you save 2 of those lovely morels. Keep them whole and then slice them in half, and then you can garnish the top with 1 like that. The next thing you do is fill the dish with about ½ an inch of boiling water straight from the kettle. Pop them into a medium oven, centre shelf, and they'll take about 15 or 18 minutes to cook. What you want is lovely sort of wobbly soft yolks and the whites just set. So let's have a look at some that we've got that are in the oven here. And there we have the finished eggs en cocotte. And you'll need lots of nice, really good bread to serve with them. But I just want you to have a look inside. It's just really, really soft and creamy. Look, the yolk is just soft and runny, and the white perfectly set. Now, that is eggs en cocotte with morels, and that is pretty special. I think you're going to enjoy making that.